Hi, my name's Denise Cooper, and I welcome you back to my 12 days of video blogs, lessons, remarkable lessons to help you lead a bigger, better, bolder life than previously. How do you achieve your dreams? That's what this is about. How do you find success in 12 remarkable lessons, And I'm encouraging you to listen to these and give me feedback. Talk to me. Let me know how you're doing. What is that burning question that you have that you'd love to have an answer? And even if you need to private message me, feel free to private message me. Follow me on my Facebook page. You can figure it out down in this YouTube video. There's a link that says click here and go over to my Facebook page, Remarkable Leadership Lessons, or Coach DJ Cooper, and follow me. And I promise I answer every question, whether no matter what it is, every comment I like, because I want to hear from you. I am the CEO of my company's Remarkable Leadership Lessons, and I work with executives who are in companies and at a time when they're trying to transform. And so this idea of transformation is something I'm very familiar with, not only from my own personal lessons, but the lessons that I teach executives around. So today I want to talk a little bit about when you get knocked down, when you get that gut punch, that thing that just knocks the wind out of your sails. What do you do? You know, many people come to me, and many the times when I have been down on my knees because I've gotten a gut punch, there's always somebody with a very clever statement that says when you get knocked down, you got to get back up. The measure of a person is not how many times they get up, but how many times they get, or excuse me, how many times they knock down, but how many times they get up. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'd hear that and it would just fall on deaf ears. I'd really want to punch them. I mean, that's really what I felt like. I really, really wanted to just punch them. And then I just want to cry. I just want to ball up, get a big bowl of ice cream. Actually, I'm more of a get me a bottle of champagne and douse that thing. And I'd wonder how it was going to get up. And I don't know if you remember a movie, What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams. And there was a scene when he was with his wife, and she was so destroyed by him leaving her that she could not find beauty anymore. And the world just turned gray for her. I've been there. I don't know if you have. When you get stuck and you're not quite sure how to get up, even if you're not even sure if you want to get up, what can you do? What can you do? Many times the reason we get knocked down is because we've got that disease to please, and we're doing so much for everybody else, and then we find out that they don't really care. We live in a world where social media can just attack you, and it just seems like even in the workplace, it's funnier, it's cooler, it's what's expected to be disrespectful and sometimes hurtful in the name of a joke, in the name of being funny. And again, we're not allowed to show or deal with the fact that we've been hurt, because then we're not being a good sport, right? And as a woman, you particularly can't be a good sport because then you're not tough enough to be an executive. You're not tough enough to lead. But there are moments when life cuts you so deeply that you're not sure you haven't bled to death. And we obsess over the meaning of everything. Those emails that seem to cut, but what did they mean? What did they do? Is it perfect? Should I get back to them? And that analyzer brain that we have just keeps running and running with the shoulda, woulda, couldas all day, all night. And one day we're just so tired, it's hard to get up. And we don't know if we can get up. So I just want to give you a couple words of advice. Maybe something that you can do that I've used and it's meaningful. It was meaningful for me, and I do it on a daily basis to insulate myself. Because one thing's for sure, life is about change, and we can't always control the change that we run up against, but we can control the reaction we have to that change, to that disappointment, to that expectation failure, mishap. And we can decide. And that's really the first lesson. The first lesson I want to offer you is that getting back up really is a decision. It should not be an automatic habit of, I'm just jumping up and keep going. It's not about being the Energizer Bunny. It really isn't. It is about stopping and examining what's going on. Because sometimes when I've had to stop, I figured out I was on the wrong path. And I was working so hard to be good at something I wasn't good at that it was killing me. Sometimes I've been on the path of where I was only on that path because I was too afraid to go a different direction. I didn't want to disappoint others. I didn't think I was good enough to deserve a different life, a different way of being. I was too afraid of fear. I was too afraid of even being successful. There was a point in my time when I was really scared of being successful because it meant that I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to do things that I wasn't comfortable doing. And oh my God, why would I want to do something like that? Why couldn't I just stay where I am? And life is about change. The only constant is change. And we have to learn to be change hardy. And so the first thing that I've learned is that I have to decide that I'm going to get through this. Not out of habit, not out of some fancy words and platitudes and sayings that, get back up, get back up. I had to do it because I wanted to do it. And I suggest that's one of the things that you do. You decide that you're going to get up. You decide that you're going to continue. You decide whether the dream and what you're working towards is something that is really something that you're willing to go through, the pain to get there. And sometimes it is painful to get there. It is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Living out your dream is uncomfortable. Moving towards your dream is uncomfortable. And sometimes it's very tiring and very frustrating. And sometimes you just don't know if it's worth it. But you've got to decide, is it worth it? The next thing I'm going to tell you that helped me and has helped many other individuals is I had to look at the people who are around me. And if I had people that had me on a pedestal so I couldn't fall down, I couldn't be real with them, I always had to say, hey, I'm great. And sometimes I found out that it wasn't because they weren't there to help me and support me, because I'm a giver. I had learned to receive love from them, to receive support from them, to ask for something from them. I'm still learning how to do that. But if you don't ask, you definitely aren't going to get. And there is so many people who are watching you, watching all of us, that want to help. But you got to ask. Because oftentimes we are so strong, we're so fierce, that we don't really leave room for them to help us. And we have to leave room for them to help us. The last thing I want to tell you is that when you talk to somebody, whoever that somebody is, who's going to be there that you're going to ask for that help from, ask them to help you separate the facts of what's happening, the present moment of what's happening, from the feelings that you have, the feelings of insecurity, of shame, of perfection beating you up, of regret that you didn't take a certain path, or you did take a path and it wasn't the right path. They've got to be able to help you see the difference between you made a decision and new information comes in, and now there's a different way, an easier way, a better way to do it, or that you need to change direction. And emotionally, we don't want to change the direction, but it's time to, you know. I had to face that when I left corporate America. And I started my business 10 years ago. I thought, starting this business, I'm only going to be in it 5 years and then I'm going to, sell it and keep on my merry way. No, I think that somewhere along the line I learned to love my business. And I absolutely love working with my clients because my real passion is seeing people achieve their fullest potential, to help them lead well, to ride the horse well. And it wasn't that I had to work for someone else to be able to do that. There are many, many ways to do the how you express what it is you love. But only you can define the what and the why. So find somebody who can help you define your what and your why, separate your feelings from the lessons and the experience that you had and what happened to you, so that you can get back up. Because once you can do that, once you can get unstuck, you're strong enough to keep going. You really are. You're strong enough to keep going. So that's the lesson for today. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to tell me, what's the best advice you got that helped you get through a really tough time in your life, that helped you get up? And who was the person who gave you that advice? Sometimes it's a real person. Sometimes it's a book that fell off the shelf. Sometimes it's your faith. And the last thing I want to tell you is, oftentimes living in this world is a faith walk. And navigating faith and fear is how you get back up. And when you understand that navigating faith and fear and learn how to do both of those things, what is my faith? And that's believing in the things that are unseen, and my fear, my protection mechanism that says you need to stay safe. When you understand how the two of them blend together, life gets a lot easier, and it's definitely easier to get back up. I hope to talk to you tomorrow. Let me know what you think of this video. Share it with your friends. Remember, they're 10, 12, 14 minutes. You can make your coffee on the way to work, on the way back home, plug it in, listen, think about it, share. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.